Hello, this is your host, Dan Stafford with the Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast, and I am about to give you my coverage of ComiCon Revolution 2018 from Ontario, California, yesterday. And today's date is Sunday, May 20th, and I was at the con on Saturday, May 19th. And wow, did I have a blast! I also had a bit of a bummer. I did 3 YouTube live videos from the con, and all three of them failed to capture audio. The video captured and uploaded fine, but it didn't capture any audio. Bad on me. I didn't do a mic check before I uploaded the video and make sure my phone was catching it. Thankfully, I had my field recorder with me on site, and it was capturing interviews. That I was doing on purpose with the field recorder. So I have here 10 interviews with very interesting organizations, companies, and individuals from around the con. So here's the podcast from beautiful sunny Temecula, California, summer's winter home, and I hit a very fun new smaller con this spring and absolutely loved it. And I hope you love it too because some of these interviews are absolutely fascinating. There's some really, really, really cool stuff in here. So hope you stick with it and enjoy the show. And I'll be back with a little bit more at the close. Thank you.
All right, we should be recording now. And your name?
Greg Bellows.
Greg Bellows?
Yes.
All right, Greg, my name's Dan Stafford. I'm the host with Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast. And I see you brought the bot with me. You want to, since this is audio only, do you want to tell me who your character is? And
I'm an Imperial commander officer,
Okay.
and this is R4K5, which is Darth Vader's droid from the comic books.
Awesome, very good. And how many cons have you done so far?
More than I can count. Tons.
Tons.
Yeah,
All right,
tons
cool.
of them.
Yeah, how are you liking the one here in Ontario so far?
It's good. This is, I think, the second year, because I was here last year, which I think was the inaugural year. And it's blown up quite a bit, so I think it's going to grow. So I'm excited about that because I live in Riverside. So
Yeah, me too. I myself moved out here from the Chicago area. I've been to C2E2. The shirt came from there, 2012. But I have not been to a con out here in California. We moved here in January of 15.
well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm liking it so far. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're recording. My name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast. This is my friend Charles McKee. He runs the Inland Empire Sports and News out of Temecula, Murrieta. And I'm here. You're the director for Saber Guild Outer Rim Temple International Lightsaber Performance Organization. I'm reading it off your banner up there. Okay. And your name, sir?
My name is Steven.
Stephen. Good to meet you. So can you tell us a little bit about the organization here?
Well, we are the Saber Guild. The Outer Rim Temple is the local chapter of the Saber Guild. We are a Lucasfilm recognized organization that does lightsaber combat shows for charity.
Oh, awesome. So what kind of charities do you guys donate to? Do you know?
Primarily, our temple donates to the Make-A-Wish Inland Empire Orange County chapter. However, we've done events that people have their own charities that they have something near and dear to their heart. We have no problem if they want to do a donation on our behalf for a show. That's what we do. So if someone doesn't have a charity that's near and dear to their heart, we use the Make-A-Wish.
Awesome. Totally awesome. Okay, and who are the fellows here that are with you? I'm assuming these two are members of the chapter?
That's correct, yes. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
I am Justin. I have a Jedi character. I've been with the group guild about almost 3 years now, and I've been performing quite a while now for them. And we just did recently just 2 shows at the Ontario Library and the Quick Stadium.
All right,
Star Wars
perfect.
Day.
Perfect. And your name?
I'm Stephen Peltz. I've been coming to practice for about 2 years. Just became official on the 9th of this month. Finally got to perform at the Ontario Library, and then I trooped around with them for the Quakes game.
Okay, excellent. So one last question.
Yeah.
What would like a normal performance entail? What would you do at a performance?
Well, all of our shows are dubbed, so we have a full soundtrack. It has an opening with combat choreography in the middle, and then usually with a resolution. And there's usually a positive message at the end about joining together, learning, coming together as one. Always helps, and so there's always a positive message that we try to learn. So
Excellent. Thank you, folks.
Have a great day.
Thank you, and enjoy the con.
you too.
All right, so we're recording. My name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast, and I'm interviewing the gals who are running the booth for a Doctor Who community for fans by fans, the Order of Gallifrey.
Yeah.
Costuming and prop building assistance, conventions and events, charity. And let's see, at Order of Gallifrey on Twitter and orderofgallifrey.com. Okay, so we've got that done. And your names, please?
I'm Claire Berry. I am the bronze usher for our Bad Wolf chapter. Basically, I handle a lot of our PR and our events. For our local chapter, we started here in Southern California, so this is our home. We are the Bad Wolf sector. Order of Gallifrey is nationwide. We have sectors as far as New Zealand and the UK. And this is my cousin, Erin.
I'm Erin Martin.
She is my partner in crime. We have been cosplaying together for almost 20 years now.
Almost 20 years now.
So this is our latest little adventure.
Disney and worked forward.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about the Order of Gallifrey.
Well, our base motto is very important to who we are. We believe that Doctor Who is for everyone and cosplay is for everyone, and that is a match made in heaven. Our founding members, Alex and Jennifer Bagasse, have been cosplaying as long as I have. And when we started this little group, we wanted a more inclusive environment for cosplayers. So we accept members from people that just like to bound to screen accurate, down to a T, from homemade to store-bought, Abbey source, you name it. We do it all. We are a fan group, a cosplay. We have master builders. We have master seamstresses in our group. And it's all about the love of Doctor Who, and we try to include other fandoms as well, since there's a lot of crossover there. So we're kind of awesome.
Okay, and tell me a little bit more about the charity side of things.
Well, that's run a lot by one of our members, Patricia. We do things like library charities. We do a lot of volunteer work for kids, mostly just trying to help out with building awareness and helping out with the arts a lot as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Enjoy the con.
You too.
My name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host of the Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast. I'm here at ComiCon Revolution in Ontario, California. And your name is?
Ben Lackner.
All right. And Ben, tell me about your business, Ravensdale Publishing. What do you do?
So Ravensdale Publishing is all about bringing board games to the table. We are interested in designing and publishing our own independent board games. And our first one is called Villains and Henchmen. You get to play comic book bad guys with your friends, buy superpowers, beat up superheroes. What could be better, right?
Kind of like D&D meets Marvel and DC.
Sort of, yeah. Actually, RPGs were a big influence on the game. The idea is you start with an archetype, which is kind of like your character class, and you buy superpowers. So you can customize your character every time you play. You'll never have the same character twice. So that's the idea.
Excellent. Okay. And so tell me the name of, this is your first game that's out right now, right?
It's not out yet. We're going to Kickstarter July 19th. But we are showing it off, and this is what you see is what you get. All this here on the table will come in the box. Comes with 216 cards, divided up between the hero, guard, obstacle, and power decks, and the events. Has the playmat, it's the paper version, and it's got the player reference cards, rule book, all that stuff in the box.
Excellent. And the name of the game?
Villains and Henchmen.
Villains and Henchmen.
Yep.
Okay. Website?
RavensdalePrintandgames.com.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'm Dan Stafford, the host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast, and I'm here in Ontario, California at ComiCon Revolution 2018. And your name is?
Maya Rogers.
Maya Rogers? Mm-hmm. Maya, you're here at the fez-o-rama booth. Tell me what I'm looking at here, a bunch of different kind of fez hats.
Well, this was started by my husband. He and I and a friend of ours make everything ourselves, do all the sewing, all the embroidery work, and all of the artwork as well.
And where are you based out of?
Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, so you're local?
Local.
Okay.
We started doing this in about 2005, actually working on tiki conventions and Polynesian stuff and starting in the tiki world. And we just started making fezzes, and people kept asking us, we made them for ourselves. Where do we sell these? Are we a shop? Where do we get those? And we started saying, maybe we have a business here. And so we made 30 for one show, and they sold out in one day. Then we made 50, and they sold out. Then we made 100, and they sold out. And it just went, okay, we got to start doing this more.
Yeah, this is different. I've never seen anything quite like this before. I'm going to have my friend Charles here is with Inland Empire Sports and News out of Temecula, Murrieta. Mm-hmm. I'm a Temecula-based podcast as well, so local also. And we'll get this up together with the audio. I'm doing a YouTube channel, so I'm going to be stitching together a bunch of little interviews from all over the con today.
Sounds good.
And we'll put that in there. And while I have you here, website?
Oh, yes, right here. It's www.fez-o-rama.com.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, we're live. My name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host with Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast, based out of Temecula. The photographer is my friend Charles McKee from Inland Empire Sports and News out in Temecula, Murrieta. Cool. And I noticed your sign, does your cosplay smell? It should.
It should.
Okay, so it's kind of obvious people are in these costumes all day at a con, maybe 2 days.
Right.
And, people are people, right?
Right.
So you have a solution for that, it looks like here. Do you want to tell me about it?
I sure can. I'm Deanna. I'm from Duffworks. We're in Murrieta, California. And
next door.
Right next door to you guys. And we started Duffworks because I made my own cosplay kit, and it didn't smell like a person from the snow, and she's a snow character. She smelled like fiberglass and paint and glue, and it was awful. So I sprayed her with lemon oil so I could smell better and wear it, and I realized it's a tropical fruit, it wouldn't be in the snow, that's dumb, so I sprayed her down with peppermint. A ton of our friends were like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm trying to make it smell like my character. And the bonus is, say no to con stank. You're in your costume and your cosplay for 3 days, and you smell bad. So we started the line. It came up with all the different ideas, went through all the different tropes, went through all the different factions of every different movie type, genre, anime genres, and came up with a specific scent that people could spray on their costume so they'd smell more like their character.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so can you plug phone number, website, etc., contact
You can find us at www.duffworks.com. We also have an Etsy shop, and our phone number is 951-834-3828.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Have a great con.
You too.
Brief note from Dan here. I came up with the idea for a tagline for this business right after I stepped away from this interview, and I walked back and gave it to them. This is Duffed Works, and The tagline I came up with is "Make it smell right, not ripe." You heard it first here on Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast.
Okay, so we're live. My name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast, and I'm here with
Stanley Ogbolos.
Okay, and Stan, can you tell us what you've got going here on site comic book pressing?
Yeah, sometimes comic books, after they're bought, they might have a little bit of wrinkle, little damage, dents, indentations, and sometimes the books are really valuable. Okay, mm-hmm. And so in order to improve the condition and improve the value of the book, we press the books to get rid of wrinkles, dents, indentations. And it doesn't necessarily work on all comic books, because the minute the comic book breaks color with a crease, you can't get rid of that. But if there's a slight bend or a thumb bend, we can flatten that out and make the book like it was just brand new.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what kind of does it just heat or pressure or?
Well, it's heat and pressure, and a lot of times you have to add moisture to relax the paper.
So not like full on steam, but a little bit of moisture.
You don't do steam, because steam can go ahead and destroy the cellulose fibers and the lignin. So you have to do passive humidification, where basically you put it in a controlled environmental chamber and add humidity, but no steam.
Yeah, all right, that's what I kind of thought. Okay. And then have you got a website?
I do. It's precisioncomicbook.com.
Precisioncomicbook.com.
Precision Pressing.
That's
precisioncomicbookpressing.com. I'm sorry.
All right, precisioncomicbookpressing.com.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And where are you based out of?
We're in Riverside.
Riverside? All right, good. Local.
Yeah.
Local company. Very good.
Yeah, I've been pressing since college. I learned how to press in a library museum, and I was an undergraduate major in biophysics, so actually pressing comic books was using all the physics. And we used Gay-Lussac's law, Boyle's law, Charles' law, the ideal gas law, so you know how pressure, temperature, and
you said you learned in a library environment?
Library museum.
Library museum.
Yeah.
All right. So like the real way to do it without any destruction or reduction in value.
Yes.
That's a key thing for
There's a lot of people that are pressing comic books, and I would say at least 90% of them, they have no idea what they're doing. They think they do because they're learning online on YouTube, or they get together with a pressers forum. But in reality, I mean, I'll give you a good example. A lot of them will go ahead and add steam. They'll take a polyvinyl chloride or polypropylene tub. They'll pour boiling water into it. They'll have like a dish rack cage to put the comic book on, and then they'll snap the cover on it, and they'll time it for 43 seconds to add moisture to the comic book. And what they don't realize is that they've just added hydrochloric acid to the comic book, because they've now reached the melting point of the polyvinyl chloride and cause a process called outgassing. So if you're using somebody who doesn't know how to press correctly, that person could actually be damaging your comic books.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, acid-free paper is kind of a big thing in preservation.
Right.
The minute you say acid and comic books, I'm like, I don't think so.
Right, and I also do deacidification of the paper for comic books too. So I deacidify the paper. In fact, one client just gave me a book to deacidify, and you can even see here where it basically says slightly brittle, and the paper is so brittle it's coming apart.
Yeah.
So I have to deacidify this to prevent it from becoming any more brittle.
All right, and to give my my listeners, since this is audio only, a sense of what we're talking about here, this is Human Torch, Captain America, Submariner, featured in select comics.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah, this is a $10,000 comic book. It's been professionally graded. It's in what we call a slab, but the comic book itself has been graded a grade of 3.0. But at the bottom, we can see that the comic is very brittle and very frail, and that marble chipping, or it's not marble chipping, but it's just the paper is basically turning to dust at the very bottom here. So in order to save the comic book, I've got to take it out of this holder, and I've got to add magnesium oxide to the paper, which is an alkaline buffer to neutralize the acid.
Excellent. Very, very good, interesting interview. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Note from Dan to reiterate the name or the website of this business. It's precisioncomicbookpressing.com is the correct website.
My name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast. My photographer friend is Charles McKee from Inland Empire Sports and News. I'm based out of Temecula, and he's based out of Marietta. And can you tell me your names?
My name is Gwen Katz. I am the author, and Jordan here is just helping me man the booth. Yeah.
Awesome. And thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. I know that's huge. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on here at the booth? This is nothing I've heard about before.
Well, I'm an author, and I write historical fiction, and I've written a novel about the Night Witches. The Night Witches were an all-female unit of bomber pilots during World War II in the Soviet Union. They flew these old wood and canvas biplanes over enemy lines at night, and they'd cut their engines so they could soar silently over the Nazi camps while the Nazis were sleeping and drop bombs on them. And from the ground, the only sound they could hear was the wind whistling through the control wires. They thought it sounded like witches' brooms flying overhead, so they nicknamed them the Night Witches.
Interesting. Fascinating. Just a brief reference for my listeners, especially younger listeners. In World War II, the United States, England, and Soviet Union were all allied against the Nazi and Axis forces.
Yep.
At the time. The competition between the U.S. and the Soviet Union didn't begin until post-World War II.
Yep.
All right. So you want to give me a website or?
Yeah, my website is gwenckatz.com. And my book is titled Among the Red Stars. You can find it on Amazon. You can get an ebook or a print book, or you can go on my website to buy it.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
yeah, thank
enjoy
you.
the con. I hope you have a great success here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming by.
And we're live. My name is Dan Stafford, host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast. I'm here at the Ontario, California ComiCon Revolution 2018, and I'm with Southland Ghostbusters. So, fellas, can you give me your names?
Gary Horton, Jesse Rodriguez.
Okay. And, fellas, tell me a little bit about Southland Ghostbusters. What do you guys do?
Well, our cosplay group, Southland Ghostbusters, we do charity events, parades. We actually do events for Sony when they need us.
And it's a great reason to just show our appreciation for the movies and express our fandom.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to word it. It was a great movie, great franchise, and just love to geek out about it every chance we get.
Excellent. Very fun. And tell me a little bit about the charity activity.
Depends on the charity. Like a lot of times we'll go to the children's hospitals, or we'll do if we do get any money for charity for doing events, we'll give it to the LA Children's Hospital or for the WIN Project. For the WIN Project's a really awesome organization. They deal with kids who have not so much terminal illnesses, but more what's the word I'm looking for? Wheelchair bound, stuff like that, where they'll actually build things for their wheelchair so that the kid can cosplay and have enjoyment.
Excellent. And are you guys based locally, or where are you from?
We're all over Southern California. We got guys from LA, Marietta, San Diego. We're all over the place. We all meet up. I think there's about 14, 15 of us in the group. And,
Excellent. Very cool. Thank you so much, and enjoy the con, fellas.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Dan Stafford. I'm the host of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast. We've got with us Charles McKee from Inland Empire Sports and News, Temecula and Murrieta, respectively. And you are with Science Fiction Coalition. Can you tell me your name and a little bit about the organization?
Yeah, I'm Sean Mullen, and I'm the founder of the Science Fiction Coalition. And I founded the club on January 1st of 2017, so last year. So we're not even 2 years old yet, and we have 3 sectors, San Diego, LA, and Reno, and we have club members all over Southern California, San Diego, Los Angeles, Orange County, and Riverside County.
Excellent, excellent. So what does the organization do overall?
Well, we're science fiction fans, and we like to give back to the community. We like to support charity. We'll visit children at hospitals, Ronald McDonald's houses. We support a lot of 5K walks, for fighting cancer, children with disabilities. A lot of 5K walks all over Southern California.
Excellent, excellent. And then what other activities?
Well, we're a science fiction fan, so aside from the community charity work we do, we'll go see sci-fi movies, like we just saw the Avengers together, Ready Player One. We'll go to arcades. So we do social events too, and we support cons. Like this one, we have our backdrops in the hallway. I don't know if you've seen them. We have an Avengers backdrop, a Star Wars backdrop, and the Galaxy. And so far, we're at 18 cons this year, and most of them ask for us to bring our science fiction backdrops to, help support the convention.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm seeing your website on one of the banners, www.sci-ficoalition.org.
Right. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
And this last is a little bit of a hot mic that actually captured some of the failed YouTube live audio that I wanted to upload with my videos. I had 3 of them that flunked audio capture, and this one happened to be a lightsaber battle, so a little bit of extra here.
All right. So if you can hear that behind, we've got a little bit of a lightsaber battle going on here, and I think Hoff Trading Company, HoffTradingCompany.com, they're the ones with all these lightsabers everywhere. Let's see if I can get a little bit airborne here. All right. Lightsabers everywhere, everyone. Yeah. Okay. That's fun. I've got a lot of really good interviews going on here at the con. Some very interesting stuff. We've got companies that do cosplay for charity. We've got a new board game maker starting up, and these are all local. They're all local to Southern California. So I also found a guy here in Riverside that does comic book pressing and basically like taking creases out of comic books and wrinkles and stuff like that, but also comic book mold abatement, comic book deacidification. The guy learned in a library museum, and he's a biophysicist as well, has a degree in biophysics. And so really cool stuff, some interesting detail about process.
Unfortunately, at that point, I must have moved the recorder away and the audio level got too low for it to be recoverable. So that's it. That's all I got out of that. And there you have it, folks. Coverage of ComiCon Revolution 2018 out of out of Ontario, California, courtesy of Midwestern Geek and Cali podcast, www.midwesterngeekandcali.com, and Inland Empire Sports and News, www.iesportsnews.com. You can find both my podcast and IE Sports News on Twitter and on Facebook. And many thanks to Charles McKee for the press passes and finding out about this con that I didn't even know existed and is only 45 minutes away from beautiful Temecula, California. Thank you very much, Charles. I owe you one on that. And I'm looking forward to our next go around. We're hoping that we can make it to Comic-Con San Diego this summer, but that's up in the air yet. No guarantees. I'd also like to give a special thanks to the cosplayers at the con who were kind enough to pose with us for pictures and for us for pictures as well. I wish I could personally thank each and every one, but I don't know how to contact everyone. But if you hear this,